Now, WFXR News is your local election headquarters. Fireworks on the debate stage in Milwaukee as 8 Republican presidential hopefuls address the issues most pressing to Americans.
Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has the story.
It was a packed stage at Milwaukee's Fiserv Forum. Some of the Republican Party's biggest names looking for a breakout moment.
We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline.
The candidates all focusing on key issues like abortion, crime, and foreign policy, while also hitting President Joe Biden hard on the economy.
Joe Biden's Bidenomics has led to the loss of $10,000 of spending power for the average family.
And while Trump may have skipped the debate, citing his commanding lead in the race, he remained the elephant in the room, with some candidates heavily attacking him.
Whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
And others jumping to his defense.
President Trump, I believe, was the best president of the 21st century.
Candidates also didn't hold back from taking a swipe at each other.
The last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
The same type of amateur.
And you'll help elect me just like you did to Obama, too.
That was Garrett Tenney reporting. Other highlights from last night's debate include a back-and-forth debate on a federal abortion ban between former Vice President Mike Pence and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley.
A 15-week ban is an idea whose time has come. It's supported by 70% of the American people.
I will say it is in the hands of the people, and that's where it should be. But when you're talking about a federal ban, be honest with the American people. We haven't had 45 pro-life senators in over 100 years. So no Republican president can ban abortions any more than a Democrat president could ban all those state laws. Don't make women feel like they have to decide on this issue when you know we don't have 60 Senate votes in the House.
Meantime, another topic of discussion was climate change. They were asked how to tackle climate change and natural disasters, especially in the light of all the wildfires, the ones in Maui, the storms of Hillary and Harold out west. Many candidates ignored the question, but Vivek Ramaswamy took a hard stance.
The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax, and we have to declare independence for it. And so the reality is more people are dying of bad climate change policies than they are of actual climate change.
Republican candidates now turn their attention to preparing for and qualifying for the second GOP primary debate taking place 5 weeks from now in California. At this point, it's not clear whether former President Donald Trump will show up.
Former President Trump is expected to surrender in Georgia today ahead of Friday's deadline. It stems from the case accusing the former president and his allies of election interference. Rudy Giuliani turned himself into Fulton County Jail yesterday after Trump's former attorney John Eastman turned himself in on Tuesday. The Fulton County District Attorney is seeking a trial in this case to begin as early as March. Legal experts expect the proceedings to come with a high price tag.